And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar right here on BearcatJournal.com. Go visit our friends at Hail Mary's in Cheviot. It's right on Harrison Avenue. It's in the Dora District. You can walk from bar to bar with your drinks, but why would you do that when you can stay at Hail Mary's? 27 TVs, a 9-screen video wall. There's not a bad seat in the house. They subscribe to every sports package that DirecTV offers. They can stream all the games, and Cincinnati sports will always be on the 9-screen video wall. They have a brand new walk-in, brand new draft lines, and not only do they pour the coldest beer around, they do so in 32.8 degree beer frosted glasses. Go see our friends at Hail Mary's. All right, Aaron, let's get this show on the road. Sunday night. How was a couple days off? How'd that go?
Well, I still have some soreness in my ribs, but it got well enough that I was able to get out and mow our almost 4 acres. So it's
For the
on
first
the
time in a
mend.
month.
Might have been longer than that. But it's on the mend, and we'll just waiting to hear from UCF and get those credentials for next weekend. So
there you go. It was pretty good here. We went to I had a little fire on Friday night. That was always refreshing and relaxing. Good little recharge. And then Saturday went to the volleyball game. The Bearcats wiped out UCF in straight sets. That was good stuff.
UCF did have a great weekend.
I did not watched a little college football. Caught some NFL today. Listening to a whining puppy right now.
UCF fan.
Yeah, clearly. She's kind of got that color, like that golden color to her. So maybe Friday night, kind of a shocker, Aaron, as Houston dominates TCU. I'll be right back.
You say shocker. I say that, sometimes you have a coach who's just going to play to the back of his coach's card, if you will. And we saw just that. Willie Fritz, he finds ways to win, right? We know that about Willie Fritz.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, like if it's just in a vacuum, Willie Fritz or Sonny Dykes, I know who I'm not taking 11 times out of 10, and it's.
And Sonny Dykes found a way to Sonny Dykes. So we're really not surprised. I wonder if there's got to be some holdover. I don't know. It's just I'm just really happy that Sonny Dykes found a way to Sonny Dykes at the end of the day. Houston they had not scored in at least 8 quarters, if not 10.
I think it was 9 or 10. Yeah.
So good on Houston. That drought wasn't going to last forever, and who better for it to happen against than Sonny Dykes?
I mean, Houston dominated that game. It was like 24-0. Like that, it was a beatdown, and I don't know what TCU does. Like they have to know.
It wrecks TCU's chances of playing for a championship. I can't imagine, unless they go undefeated the rest of the season, I can't imagine they limp into this championship. And
yeah, I mean, they've already lost 2 Big 12 games. Like they're not playing for a Big 12 championship.
Can't imagine they are.
No. It's just fascinating because if you're a TCU fan or TCU administration, you have to know that like SMU is rolling now that Sonny Dykes is out of their way. And I don't know. I mean, the talk has got to be loud down there.
Imagine what SMU would they might have actually just got an outright invite from the ACC if Sonny Dykes had not been there.
Right. Iowa State struggles a little bit early. They get it together right before halftime. They pull away from Baylor in the second half. 43-21 is your final. That is the type of offensive performance from Iowa State that scares you a little bit because we know their defense is really good. if they can start putting 30s and 40s on the board offensively, I think they become the clear favorite in this league.
Yeah, did they had to have scored otherwise. Yeah, they had a punt return for a touchdown. Uh, their kicker had 13 on his own. So it wasn't just the touchdowns, as Rocco Becht had 2 touchdowns through the air, and Jalen Jackson had 107 yards on the ground on 15 carries and 2 touchdowns there. I told you that I thought Iowa State was going to cover almost single-handedly.
Yeah. They just hadn't shown it yet on offense, Aaron. I went through their games. Like, they had one game where they scored more than 20 points.
Right, not against a formidable foe. Correct.
Right. So I just.
But Baylor is that bad. Baylor is that bad.
Clearly. I'm just of that. You know how I am. I want to see you do. Before I believe you can do it, I want to see you do it. And I had not seen Iowa State's offense play like they did yesterday up until yesterday.
And that is why you don't play fantasy football anymore, because it's really hard to be on the waiver wire if you aren't picking up people that you, until I've seen you do it, I don't believe you can do it.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty good in fantasy football up until it was actually once I took over this full time, and it was just like, I don't have the mental capacity to keep up with the NFL at this point. So I just never went back. But yeah, I want to see it.
They're balanced.
I saw it against Baylor.
Very balanced, 277 in the air, 265 on the ground. I'm curious to see what they continue. 5-0. Don't bet against Iowa State.
Yeah. Moving on. Boy, things are real bad in Stillwater. 38-14, West Virginia on the road. Just a dominating performance. It was 31-7 at halftime. Oklahoma State is now 0-3 in the Big 12. That ship for 2024 has sunk.
I don't know if the seat is getting hot down there yet. He's been down there forever. I don't know if it's getting hot down there yet, but Mike Gundy's got to be wondering what the hell just happened. You have what you believed a year ago was a generational running back at your school. He has still not really shown up. My ESPN app just stopped working here. But
sorry,
I told you that's all right. I told you to stay away from this game. Ollie Gordon, 13 carries, 50 yards, nothing. And Alan Bowman is not good. 10 of 19, 116 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. Their offense is dreadful. Dreadful.
Yeah. I didn't think it would be this bad. Like, you had to figure West Virginia was a little bit stronger than what Oklahoma State has put on tape. But, I mean, that's kind of the thing that Gundy always does, is he finds a way to, like, as the season goes on, to get them in the right direction. And then they have.
He's quick on his feet, and not this year.
No. So West Virginia 2-0 in the conference. Wasn't a good start to the season. They're only 3-2. They lost that Penn State game. They lost the Pitt game, but finding their footing now that they are in the Big 12. Florida 24, UCF 23 or 13, excuse me. They did not score a touchdown until the end. Once again, Florida did a pretty good job bottling up RJ Harvey and their run game. And KJ Jefferson is not good. And Florida, a not good Florida, was in control of that game throughout.
165 yards passing, 1 pick on 12 of 22 for KJ Jefferson. Ugh. And 40 carries for 108 yards on the ground. This UCF train was humming at 3-1. And dominoes started to fall. You saw familiar face say he was redshirting, and all of a sudden, I think we're up to somewhere around a half dozen kids, if not more,
If
at
not
UCF
more, yeah.
have already said we're redshirting. Gus Malzahn has put himself into a difficult spot. I know that he is not super picky, as Cincinnati was adamant about vocally, that they were taking good character kids that had to go through the interview process with the leaders of this team. I don't think you have anything like that currently going on. You got leaders on the team calling out guys who are redshirting after they've already said, "Well, I'm done with this team." Like, you failed me. What? Clearly, I don't care. What are you doing?
So this is how Gus recruits. He emphasizes ratings and rankings and tosses out culture and fit and
it's a strategy.
Continuity. And I mean, there was a coach
he,
here. There was a
he
basketball
won a
coach
chip.
here 30 years ago that used to like to do things like that. And it can work. But once it blows up in your face, it generally blows up spectacularly. It's not like
till it doesn't.
Yeah, it's not like just a little fender bender. It is like your car looks like an accordion. Like that's
like
so
that Twitch streamer who just wrecked his McLaren.
Yeah, $300,000
while he was filming himself on his phone as the drive. Get out of here.
Responding to chat. Good one. This week is going to be so interesting because they are either going to galvanize and start to finish strong, or they are going to completely fall apart.
If they're going to finish strong, it's going to have to mean you are benching KJ Jefferson for his backup, because everyone is over that dude.
Gus in the post game seemed to indicate KJ is our guy.
Love it. Let's go.
I'm fascinated by this situation down there because it could get ugly quick. Arizona State in a really fun game, 35-31 over Kansas. Jalen Daniels finally showed a little bit of life, but Arizona State 21 points in the fourth quarter, and they get the 35-31 win. Kansas needed that one. They didn't get it. They're 1-5, 0-3 in the Big 12. Arizona State, who was picked last, now 4-1, 1-1 in the Big 12.
What a fun story for Arizona State. They are kind of, I think, the darlings. We've seen Iowa State. I think that Arizona State, though, this season is a little bit of the darlings of this conference. People don't like Utah for plenty of reasons.
Yeah,
plenty of reasons.
Fans make it almost impossible to like them.
Correct. But I think that the Sun Devils have a little Mo in their corner, and they are surprising some people. I called this win. You did not. Just wanted to point that out.
Are we going to do this where I need to now point out every time you get one wrong?
If you remember, sure.
I don't care enough.
No, well, but I think it's a good story. I don't know that it's going to last the whole season. Good on them if it does, but that's where we're at.
Sometimes you need to win a couple games and get your confidence back, and then you do, and then the ball gets rolling downhill. We have seen it here before.
How about 14 of 24 for 157 yards, 4 touchdowns?
Efficient. That's the picture of efficiency.
45 carries, though, for 313 yards. Arizona State runs the ball.
Yeah. And Scatabo had 25 for 186.
Yeah, that's really good.
186, and they only had 1 touchdown. So that's where all those passing touchdowns came from, is he ran them into the red zone, and then the quarterback threw a 4-yard completion for a touchdown.
Well, Shaman had one for 20 yards, so
good for him. And then the nightcap, another wildly exciting game. Texas Tech 28, Arizona 22. Texas Tech now 5-1 on the season, 3-0 in the Big 12. Taj Brooks 21 carries for 128. The Texas Tech defense played much better than they did a week ago. That was, I think, probably from a UC perspective, that's what I kind of take away from it the most is Arizona's got a pretty potent offensive attack, and Texas Tech wasn't terrible against it.
Teteroa McMillan did put up video game numbers, eight catches, 161 yards. It's a pretty good day, averaging 20.1. No touchdowns, though. Noah Fafita didn't have a great day at the office. 2 picks, 300 yards, but no touchdowns. Not great. They also fumbled the ball twice, lost one. Just not a great day for the offense for Arizona. And I think it's time to have the conversation. Is Texas Tech actually pretty good?
Their offense is really good. Their defense is not, but
is their offense good enough to overcome a bad defense?
Right. So far, their offense has been good enough to mask that.
Bengals are not.
The other thing that will be interesting is it's a very young Tech defense, and they've had some guys dinged up that are working their way back into the rotation. I know their starting corner that didn't play against UC was back yesterday against Arizona. I mean, if they can do this, bend but don't break, give up 300 yards passing, but no touchdowns through the air, then yeah, it probably is, because offensively, they're going to be able to keep up with everyone.
They've got a pretty favorable schedule the rest of the way. They got Baylor at home. They traveled to TCU. They traveled to Iowa State. They host Colorado. They go to Stillwater against Oklahoma State and close it out hosting West Virginia.
I mean, they could very easily be in the Big 12 title game.
Traveling to Iowa State is the hardest game left, and hosting Colorado, we'll see. I still don't know.
I'm sure that game will be fun. I'm sure it'll be fun.
Shootout.
Yeah. Draw. They're a fun, as long as you're not playing them, they're a fun team to watch. They get after it. They put some points on the board. So, I'm not surprised that they were able to hold on and close that out and get the win.
Right now, the undefeated teams in conference are Texas Tech, BYU, Iowa State, Colorado, West Virginia, and that's it. Texas Tech, the only one at 3-0, everyone else at 2-0. So
yeah. Next week's gonna be fascinating.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to getting into that one as the week goes on. So, all right. Well, that wraps it up. We will see you tomorrow night for the BBP. This is the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!